Morris returns from the doctor and tells his wife that the doctor has told him that he has only 24 hours to live. Given the prognosis, Morris asks his wife for sex. Naturally, she agrees, so they make love. About 6 hours later, Morris goes to his wife and says, "Honey, you know I now have only 18 hours to live. Could we please do it one more time?" Of course, the wife agrees, and they do it again. Later, as Morris gets into bed, he looks at his watch and realizes that he now has only 8 hours left. He touches his wife's shoulder and asks, "Honey, please, just one more time before I die." She says, "Of course, dear," and they make love for the third time. After this session, the wife rolls over and falls asleep. Morris, however, worried about his impending death, tosses and turns until he's down to 4 more hours. He taps his wife, who rouses, "Honey, I have only 4 more hours. Do you think we could..." At this point, the wife sits up and says, "Listen, Morris, enough is enough. I have to get up in the morning. You don't." A man faces a violation for adding horse meat to the chicken stew in his restaurant. At the court, he's asked why he did it and how much horse meat was in those stew. "For the money, of course, and I solemnly swear I always kept the ratio 50-50. While the infraction caused many unhappy customers, upon seeing the man's honesty, the judge decides not to revoke his license. However, he in turn must always advertise that horse is part of the ingredients." With a sigh of relief, the restaurant owner pays the fine and walks out of the courthouse with his wife and friend. His friend asked him, "Did you really put horse meat, or did you add anything else with the chicken?" "Nope, only horse meat and chicken." "Now tell me the truth, man. Come on, it was mostly horse meat, wasn't it?" "Nope, it was always 50-50. 1 horse per 1 chicken." A lady goes to the bar on a cruise ship and orders a scotch with 2 drops of water. As the bartender gives her the drink, she says, "I'm on this cruise to celebrate my 80th birthday, and it's today." The bartender says, "Well, since it's your birthday, I'll buy you a drink. In fact, this one is on me." As the woman finishes her drink, the woman to her right says, "I would like to buy you a drink too." The old woman says, "Thank you. Bartender, I want a scotch with 2 drops of water." "Coming up," says the bartender. As she finishes that drink, the man to her left says, "I would like to buy you one too." The old woman says, "Thank you. Bartender, I want another scotch with 2 drops of water." "Coming right up," the bartender says. As he gives her the drink, he says, "Ma'am, I'm dying of curiosity. Why the scotch with only 2 drops of water?" The old woman replies, "Sonny, when you're my age, you've learned how to hold your liquor. Holding your water, however, is a whole other issue." There were these 2 elderly people living in a Florida mobile home park. He was a widower and she a widow. They had known one another for a number of years. Now one evening, there was a community supper in the big activity center. These 2 were at the same table, across from one another. As the meal went on, he made a few admiring glances at her and finally gathered up his courage to ask her, "Will you marry me?" After a dramatic pause and precisely 6 seconds of careful consideration, she answered, "Yes, yes, I will." The meal ended, and with a few more pleasant exchanges, and they went to their respective places. Next morning, he was troubled. Did she say yes, or did she say no? He couldn't remember. Try as he would, he just could not recall. Not even a faint memory. With trepidation, he went to the telephone and called her. First, He explained to her that he didn't remember as well as he used to. Then he reviewed the lovely evening past. As he gained a little more courage, he then inquired of her, "When I asked if you would marry me, did you say yes or did you say no?" He was delighted to hear her say, "Why, I said yes, yes I will, and I meant it with all my heart." Then she continued, "And I am so glad that you called because I couldn't remember who had asked me." Two guys grow up together, but after college, one moves to New York and the other to Washington. They agree to meet every 10 years in Florida to play golf and catch up with each other. At age 32, they meet, finish their round of golf, and head for lunch. "Where you want to go?" "Hooters." "Why Hooters?" "They have those servers with the big boobs, the tight shorts, and the gorgeous legs." "You're on." At age 42, they meet and play golf again. "Where you want to go for lunch?" "Hooters." "Again? Why?" "They have cold beer, big screen TVs, and side action on the games." "Okay." At age 52, they meet and play again. "So where you want to go for lunch?" "Hooters." "Why?" "The food is pretty good, and there's plenty of parking." "Okay." At age 62, they meet again. After a round of golf, one says, "Where you want to go?" "Hooters." "Why?" "Wings are half price, and the food isn't too spicy." Good choice. At age 72, they meet again. Once again, after a round of golf, one says, "Where shall we go for lunch?" "Hooters." "Why?" "They have 6 handicapped parking spaces right by the door, and they have senior discounts." Great choice. At age 82, they meet and play again. "Where should we go for lunch?" "Hooters." "Why?" "Because we've never been there before." Johan and Eric, two computer geeks with little social experience, ran into each other at the college entrance. "That's a great bike you have there. What made you get it?" Eric asked Johan. Johan got off the bike, removed his helmet, and responded, "I didn't purchase it. Andrea gave it to me as a gift." "As a gift?" Eric exclaimed in surprise. "I always knew she was into you, but this is taking it to a whole new level." Johan smiled and told him, "Yesterday, I was strolling in the park and I saw Andrea on this bike. She came to me without saying anything, tossed the bike aside, then took off all her clothes and said, 'Take whatever you want.'" Eric's jaw was hanging loose. "So I took the bike," Johan finished. Eric nodded in agreement and stated, "Good decision. Her clothes wouldn't fit you." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.